What are the core skills to being a good kisser? Explain. Feel like I'm going to hand that over to Andrew Scott, and you should ask him. Hey, I'm Paul Mescal, and Esquire has asked me to explain some things about my life and career, so let's do it. Which of your characters would you most want to have dinner with and why? Depends on the dinner. I feel like Connell would be a nightmare to have at like a first dinner because he just wouldn't like speak and just probably judge everybody a little bit. I feel like the person that I would have would be Harry. I feel like I play lots of sad people, so they wouldn't be the greatest like of guests. I think Harry, even though he's sad, is somebody who's ready to, clearly from the film, he's ready to have a party. He'd like bring ketamine or something. I don't know. What was awful about this drinking game? Are you a fan? I don't know if we played a drinking game so much as we just drank during our first like rewatch of it together. I'm sure there's a good drinking game. There should be levels to it. It should be like, take a sip if they can't hold each other's eye contact, or every time they sleep together, they break up. But then you're gonna be like in some trouble, and I wouldn't recommend it. Paul Mescal reveals his theory for Connell's future after the Normal People cliffhanger. What is your theory, and do you still stand by it? My thought on this changes all the time, which is probably a testament to why I think the book is so good, because my relationship to those characters has evolved through my own life experience and the older that I'm getting. But I think the innate romantic in me is like, what age would they be now if we do like 26, 27? Connell's probably finishing up in New York. Him and Marianne have been, as per usual, in and out of each other's lives. I think the key thing is to get them both in the same place. And if that can happen, I think they'll have a long and happy life together. What do you have to say to men who are too afraid to try the short shorts trend? Be brave. It's a better look than that kind of mid to long length short. I know it probably seems scary, but I believe in you. What's your favorite way to style a loafer? With white socks. I feel like I want to bring the white sock and the loafer back into the conversation. I love vintage clothes. I love kind of a vintage jean, and I like little cropped t-shirt, and some layering is nice. How is Gaelic football better than American soccer? I'm gonna get in trouble for this. I feel like with soccer or British football, there's lots of kind of throwing yourself around and pretending to be hurt, which is very much frowned upon in the world of Gaelic football. And it's just more entertaining. It's more physical. There's more kind of fights. There's, I don't know. I'm biased. Your reaction to Ireland's rugby loss went viral. How do you celebrate a win? I guess I wouldn't know what it's like to celebrate a win. Aside from like true trauma in life, that was a very traumatic experience. It was a great experience to be at that match. I went with my brother and we didn't speak for about an hour after the game. I wish that I'd known I'd been videoed. I would have been much better behaved. And I remember saying to my brother before the match, I was like, no cursing, gotta be polite, no screaming and roaring. And you see Exhibit A there on your screen, screaming and roaring, and I was definitely cursing, so yeah. How did you come to star in the Rolling Stones music video? That was kind of just in the mad time of my life where normal people had just come out, COVID had hit. The Rolling Stones just asked my agents if I wanted to do a music video, and I obviously said yes, yeah. Did you know Connell's Chain has his own Instagram account of 138,000 followers? Yeah, and I feel like if you're following that Chain account, I'm concerned for your mental well-being. What do you remember from starring in this production of Phantom of the Opera at 16? That was the first thing that I ever did on stage, and is the reason that I'm sitting here probably. I remember, as the photo clearly shows, how massive my hands felt. The cuffs were too short. The mask was atrocious, but it was probably the best time. That period of time in my life totally changed the course of it, I would say. Fans are losing it over Andrew Scott and Paul Mescal partying in a gay bar. What song always gets you on the dance floor? We were at a Freedom in Soho. Always the best music. There was like a drag show as well. I don't know, I'd pretty much dance to anything given the right setting. I think the key to dancing is actually the bar and the vibe, and it's a vibe. That's the first time I think I've said vibe in an interview, and it's never going to happen again. I'm Paul Mescal, and that is a bit about my life and career. Thank you for watching.